Here we are. Hello, everyone. I'm Roz, and this is Filthy Talk, our live panel discussion show, which we're shooting here in North Vancouver. We want to acknowledge that we're on the traditional territories of the Squamish Nation and the privilege that it is to work, play, and create on these beautiful lands. I'm joined today by Cheyenne over here at this table.
Hello.
And over here we have Tracey and Natasha.
What a panel. What a panel.
Because we're going to be talking about live shows and live content, live experiences, and translating that to film.
Yeah.
But of course, we are also joined by our great friend Trevor Gemma. Woo, woo, woo. Our
Hello.
fact checker for today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super weird.
Feel weird?
It
You like
feels very weird to be sitting over here.
Big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Big shoes.
Oh, super important. Very important to have people moderating and fact checking. But
And what are redemptions you got for us today on Twitch?
today we have the Ask Us Almost Anything, so keep it, civil, people. And but they come through me, so you're only going to hear the questions if they're appropriate. And what's in the box is active. So your chance to win something that's under one of those mystery boxes, if you redeem your channel points.
Yeah, amazing. We start with nerd news here on Filthy Talk every week. And I want to start with the biggest nerd news, the Batman trailer. I assume Cheyenne has opinions.
Listen, I don't like Batman, and I never really will. Nothing's going to change my mind about that. But I'm excited that people are excited.
Yeah, you want to, they can have their yum.
Yeah. I'm not going to yuck other people's yum.
I'm going to snooze their yum, though.
Yeah.
Because boring, right?
Yeah, I don't care. This looks like the least interesting Batman ever. He's like just focusing more on the fact that he's wearing body armor. He's not like a ninja or a detective. Like
Shoot him in the mouth!
Yeah, shoot him in the mouth. Shoot him in the mouth. Like in the trailer, the guys are like 5 feet away and they're shooting him in the chest and it's bouncing off. Just that's all you got to do.
It was
Dumb.
not super exciting. It was passable Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want, how many Batmans do we need?
We're good.
Shared a tweet about it.
Right?
The Batman your generation deserves, and then 2 more. That's what everyone gets.
Did you all, so the only Batman thing that I've read about on the internet was that there's a bunch of people shipping, casting Kristen Stewart
K-Stu. Good on you.
as the Joker and Robert Pattinson as Batman in a movie. And she was like, that's so sweet, guys. I don't really want to, but yay. But although, if there were, I think I would watch that one. I mean, that's pretty entertaining.
It's just the fourth Twilight movie. I'd be into that.
I think that's a very
There's
funny
already
twist.
4 Twilight movies.
Are there?
Are
they
there?
split it into.
Oh, I thought there was 3.
I think they split it up just
Right.
because there was too many plot intricacies.
There was
Fact check that, Trevor. You never thought you'd have to do this, but find out
Fact check
how
how
many
Twilight
Twilight
movies?
movies.
I think
Welcome to a
my
panel
understanding is
with grown-up women.
they did the Harry Potter move where there was
Yeah.
there was too much nuance and character development, and it was too important to glaze over some of the details.
And then there was that whole really intense pregnancy thing at the end, and the baby breaks the spine. That was fucked.
I mean,
Twilight's fucked up.
We do want to see all
yeah.
9 months of that in full length.
That's
so,
true.
So you do need to.
She was a vampire baby, so it's less than 9 months.
I do
very
have questions about what morning sickness is like when you're breeding a mutant, shall we?
A sanguina baby.
Yeah, probably.
What do you got for us?
It's probably worse under a full moon.
Isn't that werewolves?
Was it a vampire baby?
It was a vampire.
I didn't watch them, but there are 5 of them.
Why?
Twilight Saga, New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn. Oh wait, it's showing Breaking Dawn twice, but it came out in 2 different years. Extended maybe? Part 1, Part 2?
Yep.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, Part 1, Part 2. So 4 or 5.
I'm sure somewhere there is like a Tolkien-esque wealth of information that explains all of the rules of this universe.
So here's what I want. Here's what I'm hearing from the panel.
Yeah.
I want the next Batman trailer to be a Twilight Part 6 under the guise of Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings.
I don't
Is that too
know
much to ask?
what's wrong
I'm
with your
one woman.
hearing, but I don't want that.
One woman with hopes and dreams.
I want none of that. I personally would
That
like
is the
none of
tagline they're
that.
going to use on the poster, Tracy. I don't want this.
Coming
5 stars.
fall 2022, the movie nobody asked for and nobody wanted.
Listen, I think I just asked for it, though.
The movie
With
only
great power
Cheyenne
comes
Rouleau
great
asked for.
responsibility.
Touche, touche.
I have one more piece of nerd news, and then I think Trevor has nerd news too, maybe. But the PlayStation 3 emulator, Alex and I were talking about this afternoon. Super cool. You could basically play every game that was ever on the PlayStation on your PC, and it works. It's like,
That's pretty cool.
the future is now.
I can't believe technology has caught up to the past.
It is cool though. Like, it's, okay, fair.
Well, absolutely. It seems that this is something that would have been provided thus far. But I also understand, the corporate structure of monopolizing content to, force the consumer to purchase new systems, therefore not making past content available
It's like
on
really
present.
technologically difficult to translate, but that is true.
We made it to the moon. Well, Bezos made it to the moon, but too complicated to upload
speaking of that,
Minesweeper
did you
to
guys-
your new PC. Yeah, absolutely.
those mines don't clean themselves.
I believe Kevin has a computer exclusively so he can still play Oregon Trail.
Kevin, is this true?
Like we should be beyond
Speaking of
this.
crazy things about the moon, did you guys listen to
Moon.
they released the lander that's on Mars? They have audio. It was out this week. You can hear it like trudging around, and the sound. You can basically hear the sounds of Mars, winds of Mars.
Oh.
Whoa.
Spooky.
It's awesome.
We should do a one-shot, and Scotty should make a soundtrack that's all
Sounds of Mars.
the sounds of Mars. That sounds like a good band name, too.
He has nothing else to do.
Anyone want to start a band?
Get on it, Scott.
Sounds of Mars.
A quick thing in response to the Batman trailer. Everyone's talking about it, but I'm more excited about the Black Adam trailer, which finally dropped. Did you see that?
No, I didn't watch it.
Oh,
Black Adder?
Black Adam.
Not interested anymore.
Is that a breed of snake, I believe? A black adder?
It is.
I'm definitely interested in that.
You would be. It's excellent.
You know what? Is there a superhero by that name? Because if not, I'm here for it.
It's just Rowan Atkinson.
When he throws snakes at you.
Black,
But
I'd
nerd
like
news,
it to be fun.
this isn't really super nerdy, but it does allow for all of the nerddom in film. I wanted to mention the fact that the IATSE members in the States were about to strike, and then it got waylaid because they went after their pocketbooks, and that's made the studios listen, which is just proof of something we talked about on a previous episode of
He's
the Filthy
pointing at
Talk,
Cheyenne.
Is vote with your dollar. I am pointing at Cheyenne.
Vote with your
But yeah,
dollar.
we talked about that, about voting with your dollar. It's the only language that producers seem to speak.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And IATSE members are largely underwhelmed.
By the offer?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It's
Yeah, what is
bare
it?
minimum.
Okay, yeah, my favorite meme coming out of this was the orc. Fraturdays are back on the tables, boys. Back on the menu. Sorry, I should know that. Back on the menu.
Yeah, you're about to have Chelsea yell at
That's
you,
actually
so-
just in the Twilight Peter Jackson.
Yes.
Batman. Don't worry. We're taking
Yeah,
that line.
yeah,
It's
but-
canon. It's fine.
Don't worry, guys. Fraturdays, they are still a thing. They are still a thing.
That sucks.
With that very generous 36-hour turnaround.
Oof,
Oh.
baby.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies
Yes.
and Trevor, why we're here today.
Yeah.
Prompted, bringing you on the panel to talk about the fact that in 2 weeks, November 5th, you might have seen our announcement out there, we are launching the gameplay of Ready to Roll.
Of what?
What?
Tell us more.
Oh, I don't need to tell you more because I can show you the trailer. Bow, bow, bow. Woo!
We have a very good reputation for not murdering people.
Don't die. I want to throw some acid on a pixie.
Temple, that's the word I was looking for.
You're a cleric.
Let me see that. And I'm gonna reach for my spear. I'm like,
I'm not on their side. I'm totally on your team.
A good portion of it belongs in a museum, and a good portion of it belongs in our pockets.
does any one of you speak common? No? All right then, death it is.
Who wants a shot? Bursting out of their chest like they're noodle arms. Now we arm wrestle.
What's that? What?
I am not a barbarian.
You drank blood out of a reed in
Listen,
my arm. Somebody gave you a quest to judge dogs.
Yeah, 100%.
Back right up.
Guys, I got a bike.
On a mission from gods. Double botch.
Catman.
Hello.
Are you ready to roll?
Okay, adventure begins November 5. Oh my god, I'm so nervous.
I'm excited.
You're nervous. You already did it all.
I know, but I consistently make a fool of myself on the internet every week.
Welcome to Filthy Talk.
But you put yourself out there, and I think we're talking a little bit about it today, but we are a bunch of friends sitting around a table playing a game of D&D, and you forget about all the cameras and the experience, that I won't talk to you about how we made that happen, but you just are just yourself with your friends, and then afterwards you realize, oh yeah, we filmed that, and I was an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my life. That's my entire life as an actor. Oh yeah, we filmed that, and I was an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. And you look at your face later, and you're like, fork, what was I doing there? And I mess up the rules, but with your friends, and you're having a great time, the experience at the table was fantastic. And then what you worry about is that what you've captured on camera, does it have the same magic?
Mm. And I think it takes like a lot of, it's so funny because it's one of those things that has to be planned well so that you can capture that, but it also has to feel like it's not planned. And that's like an essential thing. It's just the feeling has to stay like anything could happen and that nobody's watching, even though there's a big crew of people watching.
Super honest and genuine.
Yeah.
And you can watch us do this November 5. We're going to have a big watch party. It's going to be amazing. We're going to play a super special game of D&D on November 5th, which I don't even know that. Are we allowed to talk? We're not talking about it? Are we talking about it?
Are we talking about it?
We're dangling a
Trevor,
carrot.
can we talk about it?
Let's talk about it.
Talk about it, Trevor.
Yeah, on November 5th, what time are we starting that?
1:30 Pacific Standard Time.
1:30 on this Twitch channel, on a Filthy Lot. We have Linus and, oh my God, sorry. Luke, my God. Linus and Luke from Linus Tech Tips are coming in to play D&D with us right before we premiere episode 1 of Ready to Roll. So tune in for that. It's going to be fun.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be such a
I
banger.
know, and then we're going to roll right into a little bit of a panel up here. We're going to do a watch party. We're going to have prizes. Amazing. Trevor and Chris are going to be up here talking about stuff, and we're going to give some stuff away and launch the show and watch the entire first episode of the show.
So exciting. It's going to be so fun.
Like a project that is like years in the making, and not just like in the actual making, but like in the planning and in the, just the stewing of ideas. And anyone who's like an enthusiastic D&D player knows how long these things go on. So this was like brewing for so long, and then it took like years to actually make. So
and
we're very excited.
Cheyenne was just talking about like capturing that magic, but you had to organize magic, which I mean, what is that like? I can't. There were so many cameras, so many people, and then a bunch of idiots just trying to sit around a table and roll some dice.
Yeah, well, it was interesting because at the same time we were trying to create a company, a startup at the same time, and also do like 3 or 4 other shows and like build the literal like physical aspects of a studio and figure out what we were. So I think all that mixed together was just a beautiful chaos. And I was baby nerd, like more so baby. So my friend who brought me into this project and who was the cinematographer who designed the look of the gameplay, Naeem, he was like, hey, come, we're gonna do this D&D show. And I was like, D&D. And I did not know what that stood for. Google. I thought it was World of Warcraft. Like, that was what I thought it was. And RPG, I was like, that's a gun, I think. Is
that a setting on your computer that has the colors, right? Has something to do with colors?
Yeah.
Only opens in Photoshop.
CMYK or RPG, and you click that,
It's like those are the red, white, and yellow cable that come out of your DVD.
Yeah,
Right.
RPG.
RPG or PDF or HDMI. I know the one. Yeah, I think I have one of those.
Yeah.
Does London Drugs carry it? If not, I'll pick one up.
So
Yeah.
that was me coming into this and trying to understand what was happening. And so it was very weird to try and organize people without knowing what people were talking about it. And I'd like Google it and like look up rules and just I still didn't understand. I don't know why, it was just very confusing to me.
You love homework.
Well, I think
I do love
also
homework.
it wasn't just like the standard situation of like the DM kind of having the down low and the story. Like there was like infrastructure being created around this.
Yeah.
So we had like secret, like maps, and we had like additional things in the set that were kind of, it was like, referencing things. And then there's like groups of people who knew what was going on and groups of people who didn't know what was going on. And a lot of the time we're like, so or do you know about, you don't, you do know. Okay, we can talk about it. And like, there was a whole lot of like
hard
secrecy.
Because the whole problem of it all was like, we were like, okay, we want to make a really fun D&D game, but what we want to in the end do is be able to reenact some of these things with the resources that we have, so it can be cool, but it can't be like crazy.
Yeah.
And then we have to kind of try and plan in advance what that's going to be like, where they're going to go, and then like build for the next week. So that was definitely really tricky because we wanted to have the freedom of creative expression. And the thing is that I was learning, which is really cool, is the collaborative storytelling part of it, which I think, and like the interactive collaborative storytelling. It's not like a traditional, film where I'm like, give me the script is the contract, what is there, we will make sure we can do or not. It was like, we could do this, but they might do that, or they might do this, or any of this might be completely different, we don't know. And two of our players were also going to be they were like the lead creative kind of producers in the end
Trevor.
as well, Trevor and Chris.
over on the camera.
And so, so it's like, we can't tell them, but they have to decide whether this is okay or not. But we can't tell them, like, this is probably fine.
We have to figure out how to execute this without
Ready
them
to roll. This
knowing.
is probably fine.
Yeah, don't worry, that turned out great. It's probably fine, while still providing like a really open, creative experience for the players.
Well, yeah, because that's the beauty of D&D is that you can be anyone and do anyone, and anything is possible. Right?
Sorry?
Did I say do anyone?
Exactly. I love having Cheyenne in my game to play Shadows of Blood on some of Tuesdays in our Tuesday gaming slot. We were just talking about that earlier. Someday.
You can do anything and anyone. It's a world of possibilities.
I meant you can be anyone. I bet you can do anyone too. Like Roz lets me. Anyway, watch the show.
If
But
the
in
dice
this
are on your side.
If the dice
in
are
this circumstance, like, how do you, steer players away from just doing anyone when you're trying to create, an entire reenactment out of that? Like, it's dicey. You want to encourage creativity of doing anyone.
you don't let Cheyenne play. The trick is you don't let Cheyenne play.
While still
that
keeping
barking.
it within the realm of possibilities.
Yeah.
Tricky stuff. Tricky stuff.
Tricky stuff indeed. And then we had some wild ideas at the beginning. We were like, we're gonna Roz had a full-time job at the time, be like, in her spare minutes, she's gonna write all this thing, it'll be fine. We're gonna play it one week, and then during the week, after we've played on a Friday, we're just gonna film people LARPing pretty much. And then for what we did the week before. And then we're gonna do the whole next episode, and we're gonna somehow cut it all together. It's gonna be great. It's fine.
Yeah. And we'll launch the channel with this. It's gonna be awesome. 6 months, we're thinking.
Well, originally it was at the same time.
Jason has once said that if it wasn't for Natasha, AFL would just be Chris and Trevor LARPing in a parking lot. And I stand by that.
Yeah,
I think that's
I agree.
very accurate.
Yeah, I agree.
It's pretty accurate.
Absolutely.
To be fair, at the beginning, when I thought this was all about cables in World of Warcraft, I was like, we'll put on a cloak and we'll go in the parking lot and we'll film something and put it on YouTube after. It's fine.
Right.
And then all these amazing, beautiful, talented makers came out and be like, well, that'd be a bit insulting if we're like, be like, you gave us some fun, we're just gonna run around, and we're like, we should probably use the amazing talents that these people are bringing, and like give it a bit more space to be what it really can be.
Tracey was alluding to the fact, and we're talking about how I had secret notes that the players couldn't know, but that some production staff couldn't know, but that I would share with our team and all the other people helping us build the set, and it would evolve a little bit. And in the background, when you're watching the episodes of the gameplay, there's little Easter eggs around that are upcoming things that are about to happen. And I would send notes in, we'd discuss, and then you guys would know that, next week they're going to a place, for example, it's a bit of a spoiler, but eventually they end up in a dungeon in Dungeons and Dragons.
What? No.
Careful, guys.
Never heard of
Big
that
surprise.
before.
And there were going to be some apple cores in that space. And I think Kevin had to eat a bunch of apples.
Yeah, well, so this was, so how this did start out was because we were on like it's not that, you're okay.
It's just really funny. I just pictured him like sitting down, just eating apples all day, and then like putting it on his timesheets.
Okay, so
I think we're fact-checking the fact that we're fact-checking this.
How many apples did Kevin eat?
Famous for Nothing says it was me and Tim.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay, and we were on, due to Roz's
work here
schedule, we were on like an adjusted schedule. So every Sunday morning, it was like I would have to go to the market, or was it was Sunday, right?
Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday morning I'd have to go for a stop, go to the grocery store and pick up a new bag of apples and bring them to set, where people would literally, this is movie magic, folks. People would literally sit there, peel the stickers off the apples, take huge bites of them, and just spit it out.
This was before COVID.
Oh, bread and apples. It was bread and apples, because we had these bowls around that, in the background. And I'm sure we spent a small fortune on apples, because they would just take this bag of apples and just take huge chunks out and just spit it out and put it in the bowl every week. And bread. So the end of the shoot, we'd have a bowl of bread chunks.
The bread looked so good.
And it was, I would pick it up, and it was Sunday morning, and it would be still warm. And I'd bring it to set, and people would sit there and tear it up and put it in a bowl. And at the end of the day, they'd be like, anyone want some bread
Basically, you had a
chunks?
picnic every day.
Without the eating.
But it made our set, we had the smell of the apple cores, we had the smell of the fresh bread. So the town had, when they were passing the bakery, they could smell.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, I know.
This storyteller, I tell you.
But all of those elements that came to make the experience so much more immersive for the players, because you really do want them, and we had them doing little improv tricks and trying to get them to be able to forget about the fact that there's lights and cameras and people around and people rushing at us to do touch-ups on your clothes or your makeup to make sure you look okay for the camera. But you want to get into the fact that you're actually just about to play a character and have fun, and it's a different experience than you would be doing if you're at home having a beer and pizza with your friends.
Yeah.
But you want to be able to build that same experience.
Which is actually a really cool thing that I haven't even really thought of, because so much of what it is to build a set is, it's kind of, the way that I explain it is, it's everything about the world and the universe, and especially the characters, that you don't have time to fit into the writing. So as a viewer, you're looking at a set and you're able to see, what does this person have in their space, or what exists in this universe, or a character that is one way is going to live in a very different way than a character is in another way. So not only is it kind of this unwritten guide for the viewer, it's also super important for the actor. It gives them a universe to exist in.
Yes.
And I think it's extra cool in something like D&D that there isn't a script. You are being given guidelines and you are being given suggestions for the universe that you exist in, but you're writing your own script as you go along in a world that isn't tangible.
I think about it all the time with It's Just My Thing. You did that, you designed that set. And I remember walking onto set, and I helped write the sketch, so I knew what the sketch was. But I walked into the set and I was like, oh, this is what it is. Like it was different, but it was like so much more rich than what I had in my mind. And like that whole day, like I didn't expect the day to go like that.
Yeah.
But that was the best thing as an actor. I was just given all these things to play with, and I was like, oh, this is what it is, you know?
Yeah, and
so
it's sort of,
often, like,
as a character, you're like, oh, I'm home. I would have this. This is who I am. This is, and you're like, yep, absolutely, this person
and
would
you
have.
hung a baby picture of me.
Yeah.
Like an actual baby picture of me on the wall, and I was like, yeah, I'm home. It was
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely like for a story that's being written in real time for a universe that doesn't actually exist, to be surrounded by a set that can like help you get into that mindset, like
And
it's pretty challenging.
You guys did weave in little keys from each of the backstories of the players that when they arrived to set, only they knew some of those elements. So I could see recognition in each of their faces. They're like, that's my coat of arms.
Yeah.
That's my amulet. That's my, and to see it on their faces, but knowing that they still wanted to keep that secret from the other players too, that those Easter eggs were really special to them. It was just,
And a lot of that goes to, credit all goes to the people who were behind the genesis of this set. So our designer, Jeremy, and our decorator at the time, Lizzie. And we were given a wealth of information to work with, and it kind of did evolve, but we were given, there were files and files and files about the universe that you had created.
yeah, Matt and I, it's our homebrew world.
Yeah.
But I don't want to spend too much time in Altero today. #Altero. Because I also want to talk a bit about what you were talking about with It's Just My Thing, but we were talking about this week, we also did Blackula this week. It's airing today. Blah, blah, blah.
It aired
but
today.
Something about our fascination and love for mockumentary.
Yeah.
And maybe it's more of that, the love that we have about live things and experiences that are truthful and the way that we tell those stories.
I think that this company is so good at mockumentary style stuff because we're a company of gamers. So people who are constantly improvising and constantly making up worlds. And so there's something that really works well with the mockumentary style that we do because we can just be free and go and have guidelines, but go and do whatever. And then the cameras, our amazing camera department, can just capture all the crazy things that happen. It's my favorite. It's honestly my favorite thing to make. I would way rather make something like that that's kind of loosely scripted than have to stick, tightly to a script.
But that must be so challenging when you're trying to AD and organize.
Yeah, definitely.
She's like, I hate this.
No, but it also can be great because you're also not expecting something on the day. So, because otherwise, there's a director or producer and they want to see certain things. Whereas if you come into it with the expectation that, anything could happen, then you're receptive to that.
Yeah.
And that was definitely interesting about Ready to Roll was that there wasn't necessarily one person to go to. Each person was creating their own character. That was a new thing for me because I was used to a writer having made most of those decisions and the actor doesn't really have that much say.
Right.
And it's the director or the writer giving everybody else these directions. Whereas this was so new and I was like, I don't know who to ask for these decisions.
Yeah.
Each actor or player could then go to the costumes department and design the costume with them or decide what their mini would look like and all this kind of stuff. And there also was no script to go to for what is this person's powers? What does their everything look like? It was okay, it's on this character sheet, whatever that means. Figure out what that means.
There's no cables on it.
I'm looking for the cable. But yeah, so that was something really new and interesting about this this gameplay into a filmed world, which I didn't really know. And then sometimes, we'd be planning for things. It was fun because I would see what Roz had planned before, and then I would be sitting there watching them play and be like, are they gonna go in the, no. Oh, they're doing that. Okay.
And you're like, how is Roz gonna handle that? And you're like, nice. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Oh man, I was playing D&D once, and we spent probably 45 minutes, my group, hatching this plan because we thought when we were gonna walk into this room that there was gonna be all these zombie things that we were, chasing and these undead. And so we like had this huge plan, and we like were talking strategy. I was a druid, so I turned into a dire wolf, and they doused me in blood, and like I was gonna try and look like an undead dire wolf. We had like this huge plan, and then we walk into the room, and it was just a bed. There was like nothing else in there, and our DM was just like, I was just letting it happen. I had nothing planned for that room.
I was working on a separate project, and I ended up trying to find out what were like some really standard DM things. Like, what do you say the most as a DM? And there's like a short but concise list of ways you can basically like shut something down, or ways that you can just be like, yeah, sure, do it. And that comes in the form of, you can certainly try, or, there's all sorts of like, I think that must be something that comes with experience, is like, you absolutely want to let your players explore, but you still have to be able to like manipulate to a certain extent what needs to happen. Yeah. And I think even on a larger scale, this was excruciatingly difficult, because like we were unbelievably lucky, like truly unbelievably lucky that we were given, the sky was the limit. The sky was like truly the limit of like what we could try and accomplish. Like there was no like, that sounds too complicated, or that'll take too much time, or like, nah, we can't really do that. It was like a bunch of people who were just
we can
like
certainly try.
We can certainly try. Just
For example,
excited.
Tracy could paint an owlbear painting for us to hang up.
Oh my
that
God.
is amazing.
And like not only that, but it was just like I came into the company at like a relatively early time when everything still existed. Like we didn't have offices yet. Like everything actually this room was just like a warehouse. And you came in here and people were just like sitting at a table, and everyone has this story, but you walk in and people are like, yeah, we're gonna do this and this and this, and you're looking around and you're like, what bullshit am I, like what river am I being sold up right now? Like this is, every single person was like, sounds too good to be true. Like was that like, if there was like a company motto at the beginning, it was like, sounds too good to be true. Like, what's the catch? What's the catch? And it was crazy, because then we all started working and there was no catch, because it was literally like, do whatever. And it was almost too much freedom. It was almost too much freedom, because the ideas, like you give a bunch of creatives like unlimited freedom and like no one to say no.
And then they end up with
and then
tons
Alan
of apples.
makes Blackula.
And then it makes it really challenging for the people who need to organize that. But
Make sure Tracy doesn't give too much away, because in the new year we'll see some of the reenactment stuff that goes along with the episodes of Ready to Roll, where we do the sky's the limit, where we make the magic come to life, and it's amazing. So you'll see that soon. But Blackula. So we were out there shooting Blackula. Not at our studio, which is kind of unusual for us.
We went to the Havana Theater. It was very exciting, because this script came across the sketch desk a long time ago, and I was like, this is really fun. We have nowhere to film this. It's not gonna happen. And then I was like, I don't know why I was thinking about it. I was just like, hey, what happened to that sketch? And then I realized, like, I know so many theater people in town, and so I just
made a phone call.
I made some phone calls, and then so we started. I started talking to the people at Havana Theater, and then I found out that the manager of the Havana Theater was retiring from the Havana Theater, and this whole kind of plan hatched, and now AFL helps manage the Havana Theater, and we get to film in there. And this is the first thing that we filmed in there. And if you haven't watched it yet, it's on a Funny Lot, and it's so funny. I've watched it so many times, and it still makes me laugh.
It's brilliant.
It's really, really fun.
Oh man, Alan just goes for it.
He really just goes for it. He really goes for it.
Beautiful weirdo.
And I mean, in relation to our earlier conversation that we opened the show with, highly relevant. I don't want to give this away.
Do it.
And don't steal it, viewers, because this is a goldmine idea. I think in our reinterpretation of the Twilight universe, I think we can do Twilight Blackula Twilight.
Harold G. Curtis.
Harold G. Curtis.
As Bella.
As Bella, yeah, of course.
Or as
And
Edward.
Edward.
Yeah.
Well, and Edward. Both of them.
All of the roles.
All of the.
He's a one-man
show.
It's a one-man show.
I really
Twilight the musical, the Blackula.
Twilight the musical, the Blackula, the one-man film.
Yeah.
And I know like a big part of the DNA of the Twilight series is that they're all very pale. I think let's diversify that.
Yeah,
Why not?
let's do it.
Harold G. Curtis can bring that to death.
Alan is out there somewhere. Is he in the chat? Because I would like to know what he thinks about this thing
Alan,
we've
the
written.
man.
This pitch is gold. and
It's
I
really
want it
good.
to
It's
happen.
really good.
Honestly, this is why they don't let me in the writer's room because it's just.
Spirals. I mean, one of my favorite things about this sketch, though, is that, like, as someone who went to theater school and has toured a lot of fringe festivals and seen a lot of one-man shows, this is not far off.
No.
Not far off.
Have you done a one-man show?
I have. I've done a one-woman show.
Yeah.
And I'm doing one, actually. I just got contracted for another one.
Ah.
Less teeth, though.
A little less teeth,
prosthetic
same
teeth.
afro.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
No, there's not. I'm sorry. I don't want to say that. I'm saying wild things on this show. But yeah, like I think it spoke to like my particular funny bone because I think theater people are so funny and easy to make fun of. And
There's
we
a
are.
stereotype.
Yeah.
Very low-hanging fruit.
Low-hanging fruit. Yeah. Like, and I just.
Natasha, have you ever performed live?
Well, see, that's the thing. I may not know, as we've established. I don't necessarily know a lot about gaming, but I come more from theater, community theater, which is its own version of one person
Of theater.
show.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say one thing that I love about theater, and this might not be everyone's experience, but that you can just, if you just don't have the prop, you just mime it.
It's true.
fuck.
It's true.
You just mime it. Or if you don't have the set, you just you know?
Yes, I had to take. I have so much to talk about here. So much trauma. We had to take mime class at theater school.
Yeah.
And it was like taken very seriously, which mime shouldn't be. It shouldn't. It's things that aren't there. Like, come on.
But a good mime,
about.
though,
It's a whole
like
thing.
the ability to immerse yourself, like, and 100% believe to your very core that you are pulling on that invisible rope.
You know what? And yeah, good mime
Commitment.
certainly does exist, but will never exist when you have a bunch of 18-year-olds in theater school trying to learn how to do the raft. Like, it's never gonna. I still can't do it, and it's never come in handy.
Trevor, can you do the raft?
Like, kind of thing? Like one of those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a specific one.
You're not rowing.
Risky Biscuit says that Natasha is and always will be her favorite Peter Pan. You want to talk about that?
Oh, that's very fun. That's very sweet. There's not much more to say, except that I once
How
played.
old were you when you were Peter Pan?
I was probably like 13 or something like that.
Did you get to fly?
Pardon
remember
me?
what I said about the part where we mimed things?
So were you just like,
That's exactly
Like
what I did.
the childlike wonder in your question. Did you get to fly?
It's something I've never gotten to do on stage. I've always wanted to do. Be like, ooh.
can you demonstrate?
Yeah. It went something like this.
Theater's so stupid. I
love it. And I love it. And the great thing is that, you know, it was a theater school. The directors also made all the props, and like we found our own costumes. I made my own costume.
Yeah.
It was made with glue guns. It was fine. It was
As
great.
you do.
Just glue
As
guns?
you do. It was just a bunch of glue guns. Peter Pan!
Hey, I'm Peter Pan! Check out my gun!
All right, new idea. Peter Pan, the reimagining. I'm thinking there's a Bruce Willis
Like
reference going
70s
on.
New York.
Yeah, definitely. I love it. I I love it.
Anyway,
Feel lucky. Lost my...
And you know what? We have the technology. We can make you fly. We can make you fly here.
I'm so excited.
Let's do it.
That's a remount. Oh.
But yeah, it's totally my favorite thing where it's like, we just like, maybe, the scene calls for 10 glasses, but we only had 7, so 2 people are miming.
yeah.
It's not explained.
No worries.
Everyone else has a real glass. Some people don't.
But if you believe that you slipped and you dropped that glass and it crashed and it broke everywhere and the entire room goes,
Yeah.
Acting.
got a mop.
Acting.
Yeah.
Okay, my favorite prop story. I have to tell a prop story
Please
because I think
tell.
it's so funny.
We're a fake prop.
No,
Imaginary
it's a real prop. So we were doing Julius Caesar at theater school.
Did you get stabbed?
There was a big battle scene. I died. It
Did
was
you
awesome.
wear a toga?
I didn't wear a toga. I wore a really uncomfortable suit. That's a different story.
I haven't
It was a really
read that
bad version of Julius Caesar. But there is a scene, there's a famous scene where Mark Antony comes into the town square and he's reading Caesar's will.
Did he have
And
a glue gun?
It's a really long scene, and we had everybody on stage. We all played, big roles, and then would like transform into villagers and like have like hoods. So we're all on stage. This is a really big scene, and it goes on for a long time. Mark Antony is speaking for like pages and pages and pages. And the end of the scene, he goes like, "And I have the will," right? So my friend Tim Carlson is doing the scene, killing it, absolutely killing it. And he goes, it's the part where he's supposed to get the will, and he goes, "I have hold, please." And then he just runs off stage, and we can hear him. None of us knew what to do. We thought like maybe he was going to throw up or something. But and the audience sat, and there was like a tunnel behind the audience that was our props tunnel, so we could hear like thump, 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 like him running, thump, 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 like all the way back, and we're just like standing there being like, "We shall hold for Mark Antony." And then he comes running back, sweating, red face, he's like, "I have the will."
That moment was captured. I'll bet the audience loved it.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
So contextually, did he forget it?
He forgot the main part of the scene.
All right.
Just didn't get it.
Let's bounce to Trevor, but then after that, I know that you have a really crucial story about some amazing pivoting that you had to do when you're like a rabbit person. The person who played a rabbit.
Oh, fuck.
We'll
yeah.
come back.
There was
We'll
a
come back.
whole. I'm
Trevor
curious
Gemma.
to
Okay,
know about
I'll
that.
try to be quick. We have a redemption for what's in the box. So, because we're talking about Ready to Roll and D&D based things, this is a D&D based trivia question. So, what character classes? And the first person who correctly answers in the chat
Not on the
gets to
panel.
pick a box and win a prize.
Oh, dang.
What character classes were available in the original D&D box set? First person to answer correctly in the chat.
Is there a multiple choice or no?
No.
Okay.
Wait, we're answering?
No.
No, we're not
The
answering.
internet is answering.
Not that you would know, DVD player.
DVD. DVD they're talking about.
DVD is different.
I only do Blu-ray.
Yeah.
It has to be CD quality. CD quality.
So you, this is a story that I love, and I think that this is just like a fantastic example of having to.
We have a winner.
Have a winner.
Real quick, and it's someone who is our newest follower, actually. So congratulations, Yar Morgan.
Come on in, Yar Morgan.
Correct answer was Cleric, the Fighting Man, and the Magic User. So pick a number 1 through 5, and you will get the prize underneath the corresponding box. Also, thanks for the follow.
What did they pick? What did they pick? What
Okay,
did they
wait.
pick?
Cheyenne,
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I've never got to do it.
Yar Morgan.
You do everything.
4.
Oh,
Yeah, 4.
4? I've never got to do it. Okay, what's in the box?
Oh, good one. It's a good one.
Dungeons and Dragons Rick and Morty. Dungeons and Dragons versus Rick and Morty, a tabletop role-playing game adventure.
Sweet.
Amazing.
Two universes you maybe didn't expect to cross over, but here they are.
So, Yar Morgan, if you send a Filthy Lot a whisper on Twitch and get in touch with us, you can give us your details and we'll ship that to you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay, really quickly before we move on, this is like the best story of having to pivot on stage and roll with the punches and improvise.
So, I did a show called the After Party. In the After Party, it's a 2-person show, except there's this really fun part in the middle of the show where we trip out on drugs and a giant bunny comes out and robs us.
And
I swear, I won awards for this. It's good.
And this is like a really special role because it gets played by a guest.
Yeah, so
every time.
Yeah, so we toured to different cities, so we would have to get people in different cities. So we would get people. We had friends in a lot of cities, or like people on the Fringe circuit, to come and fill this role, and we'd get someone different every time, and it's a really easy part. It's like it's a bunny that comes out, dances with us, then pulls a gun, robs us, and then runs off stage.
Drama.
Yeah, high drama, high quality. Watch out, Shakespeare. So
he's dead. Whatever.
Yeah, fuck him. He's super racist and sexist anyway. Anyway, so
it was a different time.
The bunny.
Back to the bunny. We got a friend to do it when we were in Winnipeg. And, Fringe, people get really rowdy.
Also Winnipeg, not
Also,
much
yeah,
else
it was
to
just
do.
like, it's a party city. It was, for the Fringe circuit, people are drinking.
Party city of Winnipeg.
People have shows at like noon, and people just like start drinking in the beer garden.
Yeah.
Fine. So we got a person to do the bunny thing. And the bunny part is halfway through the show. But lights go down to start the show. First of all, the bunny was like running late, so we were like, okay, just get backstage and go to thing. We're like walking on stage. I look over in the wings, and they're already fully dressed in the bunny suit, like standing in the audience can fully see them. They're just standing there, and I was like, what's going on? And so by the time I got to run off stage, I was like, you can just wait. There's like a half an hour before you have to be. So anyway, it gets to that part in the play. It's like we're supposed to turn and look at the bunny, and she walks out. The head of the bunny falls off, and she kind of just kicks it aside, and we realize she's pretty wasted. So they're just a person in a furry suit walking towards us. Kind of comes, dances with us for a second. We're like, everyone's very confused about what's going on, and then just walks off and doesn't rob us. And then the rest of the play is supposed to be there's also a bunny head on stage. We're supposed to be wow,
this is a major plot point.
The bunny took my fake ID, but then she didn't, so we had to be like, that bunny was here, and just completely changed the rest of the show because we never got robbed by the bunny. And then I don't think we saw her again. I think she just left.
And we never saw her.
It was really wild. It was really wild. Oh, I was stuck between trying not to laugh and also just being kind of mad that the thing didn't happen in the show, but then we were trying to improvise through a really major plot point.
Did the audience care? Did they get it? Did they still have a great time?
They were definitely confused. They were definitely confused. Winnipeg was interesting too because we attract a party crowd, but for some reason in Winnipeg, it was all older people.
They can still party.
For sure, but we snort Ritalin on stage. We go hard.
Fake Ritalin.
Oh yeah,
it's not real.
Anyway, it was
It's
a
just
whole.
sugar?
It was really weird. It's fine. We're fine.
That's what I love so much about live stuff, though, because you're there for the ride. It's something, would you, filming it is doing this in the cold light of day, you're having a cold shower and you're watching this, as opposed to a fun night out and you're there for it for an hour or something. Or
can you back up on the shower metaphor?
I liked it.
Okay.
No, it's
I thought it was great.
You can be anyone, you can do anyone.
Okay, you're done showering, you're in the show.
So you showered? Are you showering in the show? I'm sorry, is there a shower on stage?
I understand. So the shock reality of your shower.
Filming it and putting it on a screen, somehow it takes away that collaborative kind of intimate, we're all in this together feeling.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the night after a party, you come home and you see yourself in fluorescent lighting.
So is this before you shower?
This is before your cold shower.
Yeah.
Or after. And
if you look in the mirror and you need a cold shower because you are horrified by what is in the reflection.
And that's kind of what I love about live theater is you can have some wild things happen.
Yeah.
But you're kind of yeah, okay, we're throwing confetti now. Or there's a weird bunny thing happened. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But if you film that exact thing and put it up on YouTube, for example, I think people will watch 30 seconds and be like, this is weird.
Yeah.
And leave.
I've always struggled with it. It's really hard to promote theater. It's hard to like sell shows and stuff because people want examples of your show, but every example that you film of a theater show kind of sucks. 'Cause you have to film it either with an audience so the camera's static and not moving, or you have to film it without an audience so that you can get shots, but then there's no reaction, which is like half of the show. It's just a medium that's really hard to navigate. The only person that I know that's really good at it in town is Mark Halliday, Moonrider Productions. He made a bomb trailer for us once, but like, it's just a weird, you gotta be there.
Yeah.
It is, it's different.
Or you have to like really sell it with like angles and this and moments and reactions. It's not just like, you can't just put a camera up and film it because cold shower, like I said.
Cold shower.
Fluorescent lighting. Not good.
That makes sense. But it reminds me of the...
I don't think you thought it did.
Ross.
I'm just going to let
And
Natasha
that
think
is the
she thought
truth.
it made sense. But it reminds me of the experience of if you make something and it bad, sometimes it becomes a cult classic.
It's true. Crybaby, prime example. It will go down in history as some of the finest acting. I said it. Finest acting that Johnny Depp has ever done.
Ooh, hot takes.
Hot take.
Bring it to Nerd Fight. So when you... Yeah,
I mean,
right?
no one's.
Here's the
Nerd
Fight.
No one is going to argue against that.
If you're going to say that that's Johnny Depp's best movie, we're going to Nerd Fight.
I didn't say that. Never, not once did I say that is Johnny Depp's best movie. I said that is some of the finest acting Johnny Depp has ever done.
You're going to put it over... You know what? I think you should still bring it to Nerd Fight.
Yeah.
All right, we'll put a pin in that.
Really hot take.
It's pretty good.
Hot take.
Pretty good. Hot
But
take.
I think, what about some things that become cult classics because the audience interested in the content makes it their own?
Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Rocky Horror Picture Show,
But then-
The Room.
Clone
Doesn't
High.
it just kind of become
It's
back
animated, I
into
know,
a
but-
live performance? Like, you kind of have that, you bring it back to that moment where it's all about the audience's interaction with it.
Yeah,
Well, and
I would
Rocky
never
Horror
just watch
Picture
The Room
Show
alone.
did that.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So, but I mean, that's not something that is like. I mean, could we say that that is like almost a necessary step in creating like a quote unquote cult classic? Not necessarily within like, it has to exist within a theater space where people can physically interact, but like when you look at things that are cult classic, what is within the DNA of that? Is it
Count.
things that necessitate or like enable audience participation, like cliches and catchphrases and like really identifiable character traits?
Yeah.
Because that might be it. Like even when you look at like Pulp Fiction, like it's catchphrases and it's like characterizations.
But are they catchphrases because people have clung on to them? Or, you know what I mean? Like,
What? Yeah.
do you think they were like writing it and be like, that's a fucking catchphrase?
I don't think so. No, because like
I don't think in any of the cases of cult classics, anybody
Yeah.
putting pen to paper or word to electron.
HDMI, CV,
RPGs.
LCD, RPGs.
I don't think that anybody knew what they were what they were doing would create the passion
Yes.
that it did. But I think when they put it on the page, they felt that passion, and then it was bad.
So,
but
I mean,
the people were like, "No, I love it."
do you think that like one of the integral parts of the creation or like the evolution of a cult classic is some form of audience participation? Even if it's just like a community that really is able to rally behind that piece.
It
Yeah,
certainly is that
yeah,
they
yeah,
connect to each other, right?
Yeah, because it's
Trevor.
something that like the audience is able to become very invested in.
Yes.
We have an Ask Us Almost Anything is to the panel. Your favorite cult classic you love, but your friends don't like or understand.
Cult classic.
From Night Medic. Hi, Night Medic.
That's a good question.
Oh no.
I distinctly remember showing my friend in high school Rocky Horror Picture Show and him being like, I don't get it. And that was really upsetting because I was like, what don't you get? What don't you get about Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Time warp and forget about it.
Right? It's you don't need any, there's nothing to get.
Just get out.
Meatloaf comes
That's
in,
what.
he drives through a wall on a motorcycle. What don't you get?
Yeah, you don't get it. Get out.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of Night of the Creeps, and it's not that no one likes it or gets it or whatever, it's just that no one else knows about it.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah. I don't know. The detective answers the phone because all of the zombies are running around campus murdering people, and he says, "Thrill me."
Yeah.
I'm in. Thrill me.
That's all it takes.
Do you have anything that you would consider like a Natasha favorite that no one else likes but you?
I think it's more again in the category of no one else knows.
Okay.
But that's almost what, like, that's part of what makes a great cult classic.
Yeah,
'Cause
okay.
people are like, what?
So,
You're like, no, just hear me out.
Ronja Räubertochter.
Ah, yes.
Okay. Yeah, that one. That old classic.
Yeah, it's great. It's Astrid Lindgren. It's like I think an 80s version of this girl. She's the robber's daughter, and there's a big lightning strikes, breaks the castle. They run away into the forest, and there's a horse, and they save it with mud. And then there's banshees. They fly out of the sky, and they scream, and they try to kill children, and the children run away.
Is this like the root of all German stories? Is something tries to take children away?
Well, it's a fable. It has something to do with a
It's
fable and
Swedish. It's
teaching
Swedish.
children a
Okay.
lesson.
All right.
Yeah, it's Swedish. I love that. But every time I try to tell
Yeah.
people, like, you guys know, like, Ronja Räubertochter, and everyone's like,
Those stupid kids, they really get theirs.
yeah, they don't get it, but I love it.
Fair. Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
Vampire's Kiss with Nicolas Cage, very fun. But you guys know that, right?
I refuse to watch Nicolas Cage movies.
Whoa, so many nerd fight topics happening right now.
Hot take.
What?
I don't like to watch movies starring men that I wouldn't be comfortable sitting in a room alone with.
You wouldn't be comfortable sitting with... Oh, but you must have so many questions for him.
Mostly, like, could you please leave this room? Anyway, what's your cult classic?
I mean, I think in terms of like the category of cult classic that the population at large does not validate, it's got to be Crybaby, because it's
True.
like it's got everything.
I don't know. Have you seen Benny and June though? That's Johnny Depp's best.
I mean, this isn't like a Johnny Depp's best. Like this isn't like.
She said that. She
Whatever.
made that very clear.
Okay.
It's just like a fantastic
Who else
film.
is in this movie? I feel like I've seen the
Tracy
image.
Lords, underrated porn star of the 80s.
Okay.
That's
As opposed to all those overrated ones.
Everybody knows about. They're just like,
it's just
too many
like
stars.
Too many stuff.
it's a musical.
Oh.
It's got a character named Hatchet
sure I've
Face.
seen it. I don't-
Why? Because her face is real messed up. Like, what more do you need? It's basically like it has friggin' Iggy Pop?
Edith Piaf?
No. What? No, it's got Iggy Pop.
Oh, Iggy Pop.
Yeah, like acting in a role, like it's
Iggy Pop or Edith Piaf. You choose.
Come see, come saw.
yeah.
Interchangeable on Filthy Talk team.
Choose your own adventure.
And it's about like greasers versus squares. Like it's ridiculous.
Where's for life?
I did see
Greasers
this
can suck
movie,
it.
and it was really fun.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed that movie.
Thank
Many
you.
nerd fight topics.
Yeah.
Reason for life.
And it's fantastic.
Edith
And
Piaf
it is
versus
like
Iggy Pop.
Right?
Wanda, played by Tracy Lords, underrated porn star of the 80s, is like the characterization, like probably not the ideal role model for a teenage, like a high school aged girl, but it was
Tracy Lords
mine.
is like one of the most famous porn stars of the 80s. How is she underrated?
Because she like made a foray into the acting world.
Porn acting is acting.
I don't know if
me
you've
tell
seen
you.
Pirates, but let me
Filthy
tell you.
Talk. You know, my
But
But
topic
also
is
just,
not
you know, I
what
don't know if
thought
you've
it was
ever
gonna
had
be.
to fake it.
You know what?
but-
Okay, I take back my Rocky Horror Picture Show. You know what? I will die. Movie I will die for, and no one else likes.
Is it a porn?
Donny Osmond's Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. That fucking slams. That's like such a good show.
This is such a great
It's
nerd
so
topic.
good.
The movie that you love that everyone else is like, no. And mine is The Postman.
Oh no!
No. It's a good movie, you guys.
Is it a cult classic?
Not yet.
No.
Watch it with me.
Oh, give it another couple decades.
It's
Kevin
coming.
Costner dies, maybe.
Coming.
Oh,
Wait for
man, this really got out of control.
What was our topic?
I don't know.
It was supposed to be how do you capture the magic of live shows?
Ready to roll.
So here we go. Here we go.
That thing we made.
We're talking
I
about
got
ready to
this,
roll.
guys. I got this.
Okay.
And
So-
tying back to Ready to Roll and underrated porn stars.
Well, one of the things that I was trying to say with my cold shower analogy is that
Is this a Swedish thing? I'm not familiar.
it's really hard to capture live things and like maintain that magic. So one of the things that we tried to do in filming Ready to Roll gameplay was having dynamic camera work and like getting kind of people's facial expressions and keeping it moving instead of, just putting a camera on a tripod somewhere. So one of the weird things to work into the set was the fact that we wanted to have this like encompassing space that felt very much like a dungeon or like the characters, but we wanted the camera still to see them. So we wanted to have the separation between the players and the camera, but still maintain the set around them.
I'm really concerned about how this relates to showers.
So, Russ, here, there was glass, much like
There's glass and there's someone standing behind it recording you.
watching you.
See?
Like every shower I take.
So what we had several
Blink if you need help. Tell the internet will help.
I'm trying to help. So we had several pieces of aggressively bent tube behind
Throwback.
behind some strips of glass. And then we had some poor camera operators who were trying their best for several hours a day to like keep these cameras moving and get those intimate shots of the players without interrupting the player's space. And
Who's the one getting wet?
oh, you dirty, dirty.
Do anyone?
Yeah.
You have more points.
Yeah. I think, no, I don't.
Okay.
No, stop.
Before, since this has gone off the rails, and before I know we're going to see the wrap it up time sign very soon, reminder, November 5th on this Twitch channel, and you'll also be able to watch the premiere of the first episode on YouTube. But regardless of that, we're doing our one-shot live with Linus and Luke from Linus Tech Tips, followed immediately by the world premiere of episode 1 of Ready to Roll, and there's gonna be prizes. So stay tuned afterwards for your chance, and pay attention to the first episode, because there's gonna be questions about the first episode, and that's how you're able to win some prizes. And they're gonna be pretty good prizes. So yeah, that's just something I wanted to plug. Back to you.
Back to the aggressively bent tube. I want to hear more about that.
Oh shit! Never mind. What's in the box just got redeemed. I'm gonna do this really quick, Alex. I'm apologizing. Okay. What? Another D&D based question. What 1970s game rule set was utilized for the first edition of Dungeons and Dragons? First answer correct in the chat wins a prize.
I guess one.
And while I'm waiting for it, final thoughts.
Oh, final thoughts. Can you wrap up? Tracey?
In summary, miming is hard. Cold showers are
Important.
Good for your health.
Yep.
good for your health and circulation.
Classics.
Yeah.
Make cult classics.
Keep your eyes open for our upcoming cult classic entitled Blackula, The Twilight Revolution.
Yeah.
And
A one-person show.
the vampire universe needs
Has extended.
diversification.
Yep.
And Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Can we also
a
black
banger
that up?
musical. Oh my God, Black Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Where are you? That's
Why is it
in the
way
chat
high?
I have a question. Is there a bathtub version of this metaphor? Or is it exclusive to showers?
I like a good soak.
You'll have to tune in next time when I also tell you about Lady Zork, which we didn't get to, unfortunately.
Get into it.
And
Waiting
this
for
one
an
time
answer.
I was Gandalf.
This one time you were Gandalf?
It's too late.
Okay.
We're out of time.
Wait, book Gandalf or movie Gandalf?
Oh.
Movie Gandalf.
Did you do this? I
Like
I have a story
Grey
just
Gandalf,
about You
Gandalf
Shall
the
Not
Grey or
Pass.
Gandalf the White, though?
It was Gandalf the Grey.
A classic.
We only got to the first of the 3 books. It was 5 hours
Wait, were you
long.
shut down? Was there drama?
Well, the drama was it was a play that was 5 hours long involving children, and the children playing in it fell asleep on stage during the play.
cold showers.
I know. It just full circle.
Yeah.
Full circle.
And
full
I was
circle.
just on stage saying, "You shall not pass."
As kids just like dropped in front of you.
Well, the Balrog was stuck backstage because they were too tall on their ladder that they were standing on with hula hoops covered in fire. Well, not real fire.
Okay, Natasha.
Miming fire?
This sounds like a lot. Save it. There's another episode about Natasha's experiences as Gandalf the Grey in the childlike sleepy musical.
Child rendition of.
The 5 hours.
Did you get to fly?
Wait, Trevor, do you have a winner?
We have a winner. Capri Smith wins.
Oh.
Yes!
Number 2.
Number 2, Gandalf, get at it.
You shall receive.
Oh.
You shall pass.
Whoa.
Go.
This is the Dungeons & Dragons starter set. Everything you need to embark on a Stranger Things adventure. Ooh, Stranger Things. Stranger Things, Dungeons & Dragons. I don't understand. This is a DVD. Clearly a box set.
You know what? Everybody, that's it for today. That's our show.
Dare I say the most successful Filthy Talk to date?
Here we go. So this has been Filthy Talk. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget that on November 5th, you can tune in with us for our watch party. We'll be live on Twitch. We'll have prizes. It's going to be amazing. And you can check out this crazy adventure and go on the journey with us.
Trust us. It makes more sense than this episode of Filthy Talk did.
Big claps, everybody! Woo!